Hi, I'm John Davis, and this is MotorWeek. We're on the road in Ford's latest full-size ute, the Expedition. A Your Drive pit stop on when it's time to replace those worn-out parts. Brian Robinson suits up for a two-wheeled LiveWire. And the currents stay high with the Hyundai IONIQ 5 XRT. So come drive with us next.
MotorWeek, 45 years steering you in the right direction.
MotorWeek is proudly sponsored by Auto Value and Bumper to Bumper, a nationwide network of stores and shops providing major brand auto and truck parts and service from coast to coast and in your local community. Service is the difference. We get it. Learn more at autovalue.com and bumpertobumper.com.
We're Tire Rack. We test tires and share our results. We stock over 1 million tires. We offer multiple installation options. We do this because we believe tires matter. TireRack.com.
For all those that have predicted the end of the big truck-based gas-powered American SUV, Ford says not so fast, as they shove a new 5th-gen Expedition right into the showrooms between the batteries and baby utes that are currently occupying so much floor space. Well, we say, bring it on. The original Ford Expedition was an instant hit when it arrived for 1997. In our original road test, we rightly predicted this F-150 base ute's features, versatility, and car-like handling would soon have it taking a big chunk of Chevy Tahoe's sales, and it quickly began selling over 200,000 units a year. The economic uncertainties of the 2000s did bring that number below 6 figures, but things have been mostly trending upwards recently, with the arrival of the 2025 Ford Expedition providing an additional spike. As before, the Expedition is available in regular and this suburban-style Max version. The extra 9 inches of wheelbase and 11.8 inches of overall length go strictly to delivering cavernous cargo space. 36.1 cubic feet behind the standard third row, 75.4 behind the second, and a max of 123.1 cubic feet. How you access that space is even more noteworthy, as the Expedition now features the same power-operated split-gate setup we saw in the Navigator, improving both flexibility and the tailgating experience. The rest of the exterior look is not drastically different, mostly just an overall smoothing and modernizing of the face and body panels. But they mask a major overhaul inside the Expedition, with a new dash design and a pair of big screens, the highlights. The 24-inch panoramic display behind the wheel delivers typical instrumental info as well as infotainment. It's joined by a 13.2-inch touchscreen high on the dash for interactions. And there's a rectangular steering wheel to make sure you can see it all. Yes, unfortunately, that's where we are these days. Screens take priority, with essential vehicle control elements like steering wheels now designed around them. Ford's 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 returns here without change, though none was really needed, as even the standard output of 400 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque is well above competitors' standard V8s. The available high-output version ups the numbers to 440 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. It comes with a 10-speed automatic transmission with a dial-like shifter residing on a shelf below the central touchscreen. Four-wheel drive is a $3,000 option on active, but now comes standard with all other trims. Despite few powertrain changes, Ford has still upped the Expedition's max tow rating slightly to 9,600 pounds. Wheels now range from 18 to 24 inches. These 20s are part of a comprehensive touring equipment group that also includes Blue Cruise, panoramic glass roof, tow package, and a sliding flex-powered console with a media slot for holding tablets to keep rear seat dwellers entertained. The suspension has been retuned to improve what was already a fairly smooth ride for a body-on-frame utility, feeling completely different than the F-150 it's based on. Continuously controlled dampers are available to take it a step farther. With the standard setup, a slow and steady approach was necessary through our handling course. There wasn't much feedback to help us easily get a good feel of things. But after a few runs, we were able to keep a steady pace without much oversteer or understeer. Just lots of weight transfer, body roll, and an overall softness that felt much better on the street than here at the track. Off the line, there was good grip for launching, with a nice little punch of power to get us moving to 60 in just 5.9 seconds. It was very quiet in the cabin with minimal engine and wind noise, while gear changes in the automatic transmission were smooth and consistent. We finished the quarter mile in 14.4 seconds at 97 miles per hour. And stops in our braking runs averaged a good 117 feet from 60. Government fuel economy ratings for a 4x4 Max with the standard engine are 15 city, 22 highway, and 18 combined. We averaged a good 19.9 miles per gallon of regular. Max pricing starts at $67,995, $3,000 over the standard length expedition. You can easily get into Navigator territory at the high end with King Ranch starting at $89,595. An off-road focused trimmer is available in standard wheelbase only. The 2025 Ford Expedition Max is indeed a max effort from Ford. A family-friendly monster of a utility vehicle, equally capable of handling tough tasks and delivering tech-heavy, luxury-minded comfort for family travels near and far. While the auto industry's push to fully transition to battery power has hit the brakes of late, more and more electrified offerings continue to arrive, including in the two-wheeled world, where Brian Robinson takes us for a spin on the latest LiveWire.
After bringing Harley-Davidson into the EV era, the motor company quickly spun LiveWire off into its own brand. And that's not all that's changed, so let's get caught up. In addition to that original LiveWire, which is now known as the LiveWire 1, the LiveWire lineup has quickly expanded to include 3 new-gen S2 models: the cruiser-styled Mulholland, the urban-minded Del Mar, and this Alpinista, which is more of a sports standard, designed to be equally adept at both navigating the urban grind and attacking corners on weekend rides with your buddies. All S2s share the same basic setup, modular aluminum chassis based around a 10.5 kilowatt-hour battery or rechargeable energy storage system, as LiveWire calls it, residing where we normally see an engine, with the actual motor tucked in behind, sending its 84 horsepower and 194 pound-feet of torque to the 17-inch rear wheel through a synthetic belt. Range for the Alpinista is as much as 120 miles if you're taking it easy, as little as 71 if you're frequently trying to verify the claimed 3 seconds 0 to 60 like I did. Drive modes and all pertinent riding info are displayed on a small round 4-inch TFT screen with controls by the left-hand grip. Level 2 charging can get it to 80% in just over an hour, but it'll easily fill up overnight on household 110, so you don't really need to worry about spending money on a special charger. And when you're out riding, it's easy to quickly forget all of that stuff and get immersed in the riding experience, which is quite good. It feels fast, but not scary fast, with brakes that respond quickly, and it's easy to lean its 434 pounds into a corner. All thanks to LiveWire not cheapening out on buyers by using Showa suspension components with multiple adjustments and Brembo brakes. Top speed is 99 miles per hour. With the Alpinista comes a host of updates that can be downloaded by current S2 owners, mostly involving the throttle. Rolling the grip forward when you're riding allows you to manually initiate some regen braking. And when you're not in motion, Rolling forward has a different party trick, reverse. The Alpinista looks cool. It still has the flat tracker vibe of the Del Mar, but with 17-inch wheels, which give it more of a sport bike vibe and opens up a lot more possibilities for sport-minded tires like these Dunlop Road Smart 4s. Now, if you've been sitting around waiting for EV motorcycle prices to come down, good news, that is happening quickly, as the S2 Alpinista now starts at just $11,999. Well below half of what that original LiveWire stickered for, and $4,000 less than when the Alpinista was originally launched not long ago. Are battery electric motorcycles for everyone? No. Will this one perform the same task that most motorcycles do? Absolutely, and it does it with much less maintenance. The 2025 LiveWire S2 Alpinista is a blast to ride. You'll just wish you were able to do it longer or refuel it more quickly.
Basically, it's the most performance you can jam into one tiny package of a motorcycle. But just because these bikes look like toys doesn't mean that they don't allow their riders to tear it up on the track. Small, powerful, and fun, pocket bikes have exploded in popularity over the past few years, with racing organizations and tracks popping up all over the country.
It's like racing a real bike, but just on a smaller scale.
A typical race day for us may run you up to $100 if you have to buy some parts, but typically your race fees are about $50 and then whatever you want to bring for food.
Plan to drop a few grand for a truly bad bike. But after one day at the track, the payback and enjoyment far outshines the cost.
Certain car parts are born to be worn. Belts, tires, brakes, and more. Audra Fortin knows when it's time to replace them. Do you? Well, let's all find out on this week's Your Drive.
Have you ever had that moment where a mechanic suggests replacing a part and you're thinking, is this really necessary or am I just being upsold? Let's take the mystery out of car maintenance when your car is talking to you. Here are 4 key components that keep your car running safely: brakes, belts, wipers, and tires. Knowing when these parts are worn versus working can save you money and, more importantly, keep you safe. Keep your ears open and they'll tell you when they want attention. Now, your brakes are your car's lifeline when it comes to stopping safely. New brake pads, they're thick and solid, but over time they wear down, and when they do, you will hear it. That high-pitched squeak means that they're thinning. If you wait too long, that squeak turns into a grind, and at that point, you're already overdue for a replacement. Now, a quick tip: if the pad is thinner than 1/4 inch, or if you hear grinding, it's time for new ones. Don't gamble with your brakes. They're your #1 safety system in your car. Serpentine belts, accessory belts, fan belts, they call them different things, but they're all essentially the same thing. These little guys power your engine accessories, like your alternator, your water pump, your power steering, and even your air conditioning. Over time, rubber belts start to crack. They fray, they slip, and if you're hearing chirping or squealing underneath the hood, that could be your belt trying to get your attention. If you spot visible cracks or hear those noises, get it checked out. A broken belt can shut your car down super quick. Wipers? They're often forgotten until you're driving through a downpour and you can't see a thing. Good wipers, they glide smooth and quiet, and those bad ones, they make that terrible screeching sounds. Rubber blades, they break down fast. It's normal because of the elements: the sun, the heat, the ice, and even tree sap can wear them out. If they're noisy or streaky or chattering, it's time to replace them. Every 6 months or so is a good rule of thumb. Your tires are your only connection to the road. If your tire pressure is low when you're making turns, you can hear it make a screeching sound. New tires have tread depth for traction, but as they wear down, stopping distance increases and grip disappears, especially in the rain. Bald tires are nothing short of dangerous. Shallow tread means you could hydroplane or experience a blowout at high speeds. Check the tire tread monthly. When you do, you're looking at the tread wear indicator bar. If it is flush with your tread, you're overdue for tires. So remember, brakes, belts, wipers, and tires. Don't wait for the warning sound. Check them on the regular. If you've got any questions or comments, reach out to us right here at MotorWeek.
More cars? No problem. Here's another round of quick spins.
With the recent arrival of the 6th-gen Subaru Forester, we knew an all-new Forester Wilderness wasn't trailing too far behind. It's here for 2026, and what better place to try it than the Pacific Northwest? Matte black 17-inch wheels, all-terrain tires, and 9.3 inches of ground clearance are functional and form-fitting, looking good in the woods or your nearest REI parking lot. Improved approach and departure angles, extra undercarriage protection, and a trail-tuned suspension only bolster confidence. More hiker than trail runner, Forester Wilderness boots up with 180 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque, supplied by a familiar naturally aspirated 2.5-liter flat 4. A CVT links this boxer engine with Subaru's standard symmetrical all-wheel drive system.
I'm here in Portland, Oregon, driving the all-new 2026 Subaru Forester Wilderness, and I can tell you that it has been an absolute blast on and off the road. Stepping into the vehicle, you notice that it's comfortable, you slip right in, and you got this beautiful digital display that displays all your information. Now, while driving on the road, you'll notice that it handles well, it's nimble, and it's got enough pep in its step to get you on and off the highway well. Now, where things get exciting is when you take it off-road. You can basically buy this vehicle straight from the dealer and take it straight up a mountain if you wanted to. And you have great features like X mode that enhances the off-road driving experience that much more. And what I mean by that is it allows you to be able to drive over rocky conditions or slippery conditions and still have that traction that you need to get you up the hill. Because what the vehicle will do is it will assess what's going on and apply power to each corner of the vehicle as it sees fit to get you up and over that hill or whatever obstacle is in front of you.
The cabin features water-resistant upholstery, topped by stitched-in headrest logos and all-weather floor mats. Meanwhile, an 11.6-inch infotainment screen and fully digital 12.3-inch gauge unit introduce some tech into this trail trekker. Starting just under $40,000, the 2026 Subaru Forester Wilderness is sure to win plenty of popularity contests among Subi buyers and braggarts.
The Porsche 718 may not come in quite as many varieties as the 911, but split between the Cayman Coupe and Boxster Convertible, there's still plenty of options. And this 2025 718 Boxster GTS just might be our new go-to.
We call Porsche's GTS variants Goldilocks models because they hit the sweet spot between comfort and performance. This 718 Boxster GTS is especially sweet because it gets the 4-liter flat-six engine. Now, power-wise, it just barely edges out the Turbo 4 in the Boxster S. But because it's naturally aspirated, the power is way up high, which means you gotta rev it out. And that's where things get really sweet.
Revving out is accomplished through either a 7-speed PDK or a 6-speed manual, sending all 394 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque to the rear wheels. The GTS's midship-mounted 4-liter flat-six is pitch perfect as it chases a 7,800 RPM redline. The ability to close up the exhaust for less noise, as rare of an occasion as that is for us, plays well into the GTS's comfort-capable approach. Standard Porsche active suspension management, Porsche torque vectoring with mechanical limited slip diff, Porsche stability management, and a staggered set of summer performance tires also induce confidence. So much confidence that we brought it out to Mason-Dixon Dragway. We observed a punchy 4.4 second 0 to 60 time and an equally expeditious 12.6 second quarter mile at 115 miles per hour. We never doubted this Boxster's ability to send it, but we ran it a few times just to make sure. You know, for science. Though it's hard to say our slalom runs were anything but an exercise in pure automotive fun. Each gate passed by quicker than the last as we pushed this planted Porsche through, the car practically begging us to push harder. With an as-tested price of $123,000, almost none of the optional equipment provided an extra performance edge, meaning the $100,000 starting price for a 2025 Porsche 718 Boxster GTS, while still a large sum, nets a solid price-to-performance ratio. Good enough for us, and we'll have more quick spins soon.
The 2022 arrival of the Hyundai IONIQ 5 was a clear signal that Hyundai was serious about EVs. And while this pixel-packed performer is off to a great start, updates come quickly in the tech world. So for 2025, Hyundai is upgrading the IONIQ 5 yet again, while also adding a new member to the family. The Hyundai IONIQ 5 has seen yearly updates since it arrived 3 years ago, but 2025 sees the most significant retrofits yet. Anytime we're talking EVs, the conversation usually starts with range, and there has been an increase for both standard and long-range models as both of the IONIQ 5's available batteries get an increase in capacity for 25. Standard capacity climbs from 58 to 63 kilowatt-hour, while the long range goes from 77.4 to 84 kilowatt-hour, boosting travels to as many as 318 miles. Power numbers do not change, stretching from 168 horsepower in the standard range rear-wheel drive to 320 horsepower with dual-motor all-wheel drive. Already one of the fastest charging EVs out there, getting to 80% in just 20 minutes with 250 kilowatt fast charging, the IONIQ 5 will be the first Hyundai to come equipped with a North American charging standard port that will give it access to over 17,000 Tesla superchargers. Other updates include more standard features, redesigned HVAC controls, a new steering wheel, a larger center console that includes some additional physical buttons, and additional safety features, plus an upgraded infotainment setup with navigation for the 12.3-inch touchscreen. But bigger news is the IONIQ 5 joins Hyundai's XRT family of off-road inspired rides for 25. That means all-wheel drive is standard. Ground clearance has been increased by almost an inch. There are unique 18-inch wheels wrapped in aggressive all-terrain tires. Logos have been blacked out, and some pseudo-camo trim has been applied to the fascias and lower body. The XRT comes exclusively with the long-range battery, giving it an official rating of 259 miles. But we saw as many as 326 available in the gauge display, and indeed we're on pace for 290 miles in our driving loop. We describe the ride quality as firm but polished, and while we wouldn't consider it a true off-roader, it's certainly capable of conquering any situation the Santa Fe or any other Hyundai crossover can handle. At the test track, this XRT didn't deliver the extreme kick-you-in-the-back propulsion we've experienced in many EVs, but there was a decent jump off the line and steady power delivery that got us to 60 in just 4.6 seconds and through the quarter mile in 13.3 at 102 miles per hour. That's the same 0 to 60 time we got in the original. But despite sitting higher off the ground, the XRT was actually a tenth quicker in the quarter mile, perhaps due to those new aerodynamic improvements. Top speed remains limited to 115 miles per hour. The XRT's handling experience was a much bigger departure from previous IONIQ 5s at the track, as we struggled to find grip through our cone course with the all-terrain tires. But steering was light and there was very little body roll. That search for grip continued in our braking test, where we slid to stops from 60 and a still reasonable 119 feet with minimal fade and very little nosedive. Using 36 kilowatt-hour of electricity per 100 miles, the XRT earns a good efficiency rating. Our XRT slots in between the luxury-minded limited and performance-oriented in, with a current starting price of $57,100. But to counter the ending of federal EV tax credits, Hyundai has implemented significant price cuts and incentives of their own. When 2026 models arrive, the base IONIQ 5 SE that currently stickers for $44,200 will start at $36,600. While we appreciate the more trendy look of the XRT, unless you actually plan on hitting the trail or want to look like you might, For the best street manners, our advice is to stick with one of the other IONIQ 5 trims. The 2025 Hyundai IONIQ 5 is now built in Georgia, the state, not the country, and remains one of the best EV buys out there, regardless of segment or price point. Well, that's our show. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, for more MotorWeek, including daily news, updates, podcasts, and even complete episodes, cruise on over to pbs.org/MotorWeek. And I hope you'll join us next time when we wind out a micro machine brimming with character, the Mini Cooper S. And we'll get the play-by-play on the latest Kia Sportage Hybrid. Till then, I'm John Davis. We'll see you right here on MotorWeek.
To learn more about MotorWeek, television's original automotive magazine, visit pbs.org/MotorWeek.
The MotorWeek app, which includes our latest reviews and feature stories, is now available for mobile devices.
MotorWeek is proudly sponsored by Auto Value and Bumper to Bumper, a nationwide network of stores and shops providing major brand auto and truck parts and service from coast to coast and in your local community. Service is the difference. We get it. Learn more at autovalue.com and bumpertobumper.com.
We're Tire Rack. We test tires and share our results. We stock over 1 million tires. We offer multiple installation options. We do this because we believe tires matter. TireRack.com.
This program was produced by Maryland Public Television, which is solely responsible for its content.
You're watching PBS.